my YouTube channel. Welcome to our first YouTube live. And on today's live, we're going to have a series of discussions basically on small chops business. How to start a small chops business, scale it, and grow it. How to sustain it, and then recipes, foolproof recipes that have worked and have helped. So it's going to be a gradual process, and yeah, I'll just follow it and see how it goes from here. um so I'm waiting a few seconds and I'll start. So this is going to be different, and we'll just continue because most of these things I have the recipes on my channel, so I'm only going to give a few highlights, a few tips and tricks here and there on how to go about it, how to do better, and how to gain better results. And also, if there are people that will join me, maybe you can drop your questions and then I'll answer them live. But if you don't see this on the live stream, maybe you're watching it as a replay, so you can still drop your questions and I am ever available to answer. So it's always simple. You can drop your questions and I respond as soon as possible. I do not gatekeep here. There are recipes, fail-proof recipes that people have used, people have watched, and people have sent testimonies of how it has really helped them. So you're not an exception, because I want others to grow, and I know how much of research I've put into getting recipes, how much classes I've paid so that I would also get the knowledge. And I feel it's as simple as anything to at least share with people as well, so that it will not be as difficult for them. So in case I'm looking down, I had to outline some things to discuss so that I'll not be rambling and beating around the bush. So for a small chops, for small chops, we have three major things. In Nigeria, we have three major things we add to a small chops package that makes it um good for a starter, for an event, or for any events. So in a small chops plate, the major things are samosa, spring rolls, and puff puff. But there are additions of plantain mosa, um, chicken, or beef, depending on what the budget is for that event, depending on the budget you are working for, depending on how you're selling. But most people do samosa, spring rolls, and puff puff. So for the most, we're going to talk about how to do it, and then how to get, and then some questions I've noticed in my videos. Some people ask, there are some questions that are recurring. So some questions like what is the best kind of flour to use in doing your samosa and spring rolls? Personally, I use all-purpose flour, and all-purpose flour, you can just go to any baking shop, honestly, to get all-purpose flour. And a baker told me that IRS is very good, but for me, I feel anyone you lay your hands on, because there are some places that it's not easily accessible, so you do not necessarily have to start looking for a particular brand. As far as it's all-purpose flour, you can make do with it. All you need to do is control the quantity of water you get to add in your batter. It's either you're making samosa, you're making spring rolls, or you're making puff puff. The quantity of water you're going to be adding is very, very, very important, because if you add too much water, it becomes too runny, and then when you are rubbing the batter on the pan, it becomes difficult for you to manage. So for samosa and spring rolls, there are different methods of making the sheets, and personally, the method that I have tried and works for me is the one you use your hands to rub the batter on the pan. I have videos on my channel that you can go back and watch after this. You can go back and watch the different videos I have on my channel for making samosa, spring rolls, puff puff as well. So you make your batter into a workable and spreadable texture. It shouldn't be too runny, because if it's runny, you cannot be able to manage it. It shouldn't be too strong, because if it's too strong, there's still going to be an issue. And that's why these things require practice. It requires a lot of practice, and the more you practicalize these things, the more you become conversant with it, and the more it becomes easy. You can start by watching these videos, and maybe after you watch multiple times, then try with a little portion. You get to see how it feels. Hi Kumari, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Where are you joining from? I'm Deborah Arinseh, and I'm live in Nigeria. At the moment, I'm in Kano. So tell me where you're joining us from, and I would appreciate that. So, as I was saying, we have different flours, and then sorry, we're talking about the texture of the batter you need for making the sheets. Oh, thank you so much. You're from Maryland. Thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate. Thank you very much. I'm talking about making small chops, which includes samosa, spring rolls, and puff puff. Here in Nigeria, that's what we call them. Those are canapes, I believe, starters for events, and personal use as well, because I feel most of the recipes I post are smaller portions, and then if you need them for bigger events, then you can now multiply the recipes. And I think I need to do more. But anybody that has any questions on anything baking related, or small chops related, pastries, or on any of the videos I have on my channel, you can as well check. If you see anything you have a question on, you can drop the question here or under the video in the comment section. I really, really look forward to those questions, because it gives me the feel that people are following and they really like the videos I post. So yeah, as I was saying about, sorry, I digressed. So these samosa and spring roll sheets, there are different methods, and there is no one size fits all method. For me, in my own understanding, it basically depends on how much you try and what works for you. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate. Thank you so much. Thank you, it means a lot to me. um There are different methods. You can do the brush method. That method, you need a very runny consistency for your batter. Your batter will have to be a runny consistency. And if you want to see that method, let me know in the comment section. Then I'll make a video specifically for that, because the videos I've made so far are the is the method I use my palm to rub on the non-stick pan. So I think if you need a video for that, you can let me know, then I'll make a video, I'll upload it. But there is that method, which is the brush method. You use the pastry brush to rub your batter on the pan, while there's the dough method. You make a dough and you flatten it very thinly, and you get a very nice um sheet. But excuse the noise, please. My apologies. Excuse the noise. I am outside and it's quite noisy and there are cars passing. But yeah, I just needed to do it. So that method, you need to roll the sheet very thinly, and it's not everybody that has that great elbow, that power to roll and roll for a long period of time, because how many sheets do you want to make and how long do you want to keep rolling for? Although there are people that use that method and it works for them, and that's why we are free to try as much as possible, as many methods as possible, to know what works. What works for A may not work for B. So it takes continuous practice, it takes continuous uh effort. If you try this method and it doesn't work, you scrap it and try another method. That was exactly what I did. I tried different methods until I figured what works for me. What works for me may not work for another person, and it's completely fine. And that's the art in whatever you do. Try what works for you and then you adapt it, or try a method and then make it work for you. That is doing it in a way that suits you. So you may not necessarily have to do something in a specific way because, oh, A did that, B did that. But yeah, so um you can try that. And also, when you are doing the batter, you should watch the quantity of water. Basically, all depends on what you're doing. If you want to do the brush method, the quantity of water you add will not be the same as when you're doing the dough method. And then if you're doing the dough method, it's not going to be the same quantity of water you would add when you are doing the when you're using your palm to rub the batter. Thank you so much, Kumari. You're really, you really are making me happy. Honestly, I never expected to have anybody on the live, or even have someone actively following. It means a lot, to be honest. It means a lot. So, what do you need to use for, or what are the things you need to start your small child business? Now we're going to talk about it as a business. What do you need to start your small child business? You'll need a non-stick pan. It's very easy, to be honest. Basically, if you have a kitchen in your house, you're good to go, to be honest. You are good to go. If you have a kitchen in your house, you don't need to wait until you have a shop. You don't need to wait until you have a commercial kitchen. If you have a kitchen in your house, you are more than good to go, because what are the things you need? You need a pan, you need a colander, you need a strainer, you need baskets, you need plates, you need knives. These are essentials every other person has in his or her kitchen, and it's as easy as that. Then when you want to now scale the business, you now look for a freezer. In Nigeria, we have light issues, so you have to put that into consideration, because you will want to preserve them, so that it doesn't now have to be you making it daily. You can get yourself a good working deep freezer. But in other countries that have 247 lights, that's not even an issue, that's not even a topic. But we are in a country that has to be on the top of our mind, because a lot of us are having that setback based on there's no light, there's no constant power supply. In a day you probably have 2 to 3 hours of light, and that'll be all, and it's not enough to power your appliances. So if you do not have light in your area, you probably have to now stick to making it when order comes and it's not easy, but it's doable. So it's a matter of patience, and it's a matter of continuous growth, because you can start now, and with time you can afford to get maybe solar system to help you power the deep freezer you need, because I think that's one of the most important part, because if you cannot preserve the chops after making them, it will go to waste. And if you cannot preserve the chops, you may not be able to make them that day and deliver as early as possible. So it's still going to restrain you. But if you have light, then my dear, it is a very good starting point for you. You'd have to work hand in hand with social media, because since you're going to start from home, this is you starting as a beginner, starting as someone that doesn't have anything, starting as someone that does not have any business. You start from social media or word of mouth. You make some, share to your neighbors, share to your family and friends. Ask them to taste and give you their honest reviews. I feel if you have honest people close to you, well, I am my worst critic. I don't even need a third party to, or someone else to tell me when I make something and it doesn't taste nice, to be honest. I know. And if you're being honest with yourself, you also know. So you practice, you taste, you share to people, and ask them if it's good. If it doesn't, ask them what can I do to improve. If you have honest people, they will tell you what to do to actually improve from what you've just done. They will tell you. But if you feel they are not going to be completely honest with you, you can actually give someone else, someone that is neutral, someone that doesn't know you personally. You can ask someone to help you taste it. Please, how do you I'll need your honest review on this. When you get the taste of your chops out of the way, now you start branding. You don't need to do too much to do your branding, but you can start with just a few stickers here and there, a branded bag, because you don't want to go and start printing the um like your logo, your name on your paper, sorry, on your packaging, like the plates and whatnot. You don't have to go and start doing all that. You can just start from having your stickers and then branded bags. You don't want to do too much, because we are starting from zero. Remember, we are starting from zero, and this is something we are trying to grow. So we are trying to now do it properly and see what can come out of it. If you have passion for cooking, I want you to know that it is something you can try. It is something you should try, because it's not something you regret. Highest it doesn't work, you change and start doing something else. But if you put in the work, I promise you it will grow, and you'll be very surprised. You also need to work hand in hand with people doing deliveries, because if you don't have a good delivery system, okay, it's great you love to cook, and that's the start, because If you love to cook, all these things will be easy. If you love to cook, it will be easy because you just have to do channel the cooking spirit and then join it. It's a business you want to start. It's something you want to start little, even if it's for personal use. You can make it for your family and make it for events. Maybe you have your birthdays or your children's birthday, or you have someone that is celebrating. You can make that as your own part of the contribution. It doesn't have to be for a business. So it's great if you know how to cook or you love how to cook. The recipes, I have recipes on how to make samosas, I have recipes on how to make spring rolls, I have recipes on how to make puff puff in on my channel. You can just go and check them after the live, or later you can go and check them. They are there, they are always there, and you can drop any questions you have, because I would really want to respond to your questions on whatsoever it is, anything I've taught. Or if you want a particular video from me, you can ask me to make the video and I'll be more than willing to do that. I'll be more than willing to support you. So um what else? So when you start, you need your social media platforms. You need to activate your social media platforms. If you're on WhatsApp, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, start posting. When you make some, you take proper pictures. If you don't have good lighting in your lighting lightning, my apologies, English. So if there's light in your apartment, in your kitchen, oh my god, this is backlight. I don't even know which one I'm ending now, because this is so. Let's stop that one and see. Thank you so much for the compliments, Kumari. My skin, I don't know if my skin is that clear, because at the moment I have some issues with my skin, but I appreciate. Thank you so much. Soup product. Do you have your own soup product? Okay, I don't know about soup products. Can you please explain what you mean by soup products? Is it soup? Because in Nigeria, the soup we do are kind of kind of different. So I don't know if it's the same thing we are referring to as soup. So please make me understand so that I'll what you're referring to. But at the moment, I don't have any products at the moment. So, but explain to me, maybe I'll figure out what you mean. Sorry for the break in transmission. My phone was very hot and iPhone issues. So I had to switch to my Android, and now I don't know how comes it did not end, it continued. Oh, my first time, so I'm sorry if I'm just everywhere. I'm sorry, my apologies. I'm alone on the live. Oh my god. Okay, I'm not alone. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So, um, what else should I talk about? Please, if you are here, say something so that I know you're watching, and join me. Join me on this live. Join me on this live. Let's let's have a conversation. Let's have a conversation on small chops, soup, food, anything you want to talk about. By the way, I'm in Nigeria, so for context, so that at least you're not confused, and we call canapes small chops. That's a composition of samosa, spring rolls, puff puff, and any protein of choice. Some people add corn dogs, some people add plantain mosas, and yeah, there are finger foods that are served during events. They are very delicious, so you can make them for your family, for your friends, for your events. And I have very good recipes you can try out on my channel. You can go through my channel, check recipes you like, and who knows, someone may start a business from here. And I've actually received positive feedbacks. To be honest, I've received um positive feedbacks from people to just about a lot of recipes I post, and it's honestly mind blowing. It's mind blowing knowing that it's free recipes I'm giving people and they are actually making use of it. And that's the joy of YouTube. You can come and learn. You don't have to stay and say, oh, you need to pay money to learn. Your data, with or without um without you watching YouTube, you're still going to use your data. You're going to use your data. You use it on something, you just probably scroll mindless throughout the day and you not learn anything. So you might as well channel the energy to also learning and improving on yourself. If you start a business in catering for small chores for events, it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea at all. You can start it and scale it. There are a lot of people that do not even cater for other things. All they cater for are starters at events, and they are making cool cash. They make good money doing that. All you need to do is learn it, learn how to preserve it, and you are good to go. People are called for events and they serve all of that. If you don't even want to do it as a business, you can learn it to improve your eating experience, to be honest. You don't have to wait until you go to restaurant before you can be able to buy these things. You can buy them, you can eat them at the comfort of your home without necessarily going out or ordering it from somewhere. People living in the Western world, maybe in the US, in the UK, the sheets are sold pre-made, so you don't even need to go through the stress of making the sheets, to be honest. All you need to do is make your own filling at home and use the sheets sold in the stores. It's as easy as that for them. But if you live in Africa, especially, also if you live in the Western world, you would also want to try, because there are sometimes that maybe it's not readily available. You don't want to sit and wait until when you find it. You can also try so that you know what is inside what you're consuming. Some things we don't know what we consume, so if you can make it yourself, it's added advantage. It's added advantage. Please do not leave the live. Introduce yourself, drop a comment, say something. If I You can ask me a question and I'll be more than glad to respond. I'll be more than glad to respond. If you have any question relating to anything, let's just converse. You may not even have a question relating to small jobs. Still drop your question, I'll answer. Drop your question and I'll answer. I promise. There's no question that is too weird. Highest, I don't know. I don't know the answer. That's the highest thing that will happen. What's the worst that can happen? I don't know. I can always tell you I don't know. But we can discuss and we get better understanding on them. So let's see. I won't lie, I made a lot of research, a lot, to be honest. I even like got some things down that I was going to discuss, like I was going the outline of what I'm going to talk about. But thank you, Vera. Vera, you that is here, you are still coming online. Oh, thank you, Vera. This is so funny. Why am I just laughing like a fool? Oh my god. Thank you. Mwah. So if you have a question, we are talking about samosa, spring rolls. We are talking about starters, making starters. That's it comprises of making samosa, spring rolls, for which I have the recipes already on my channel. You can, if you've watched them, maybe you have questions, you can still drop your questions relating to whatever it is. So we can just discuss. I had, oh, oh god. So there are, uh like I said, I have recipes you can watch. If you're not interested in even making small, if you're not interested in making small shelves, you can be interested in making cakes. If you're not interested in making cakes, maybe you're interested in making African cuisines. And now I'm trying to learn Indian cuisines, and that means I'll probably start making some videos, but those ones will be trial and error. Because I'm even trying to learn as well, for without proper information. Well, there are a lot of information online, but when you're not so sure, you still have to practice and then perfect whatever you've learned. And a lot of these things I learned them online, to be honest, on YouTube especially, because I'm always on YouTube. I'm always watching something on YouTube, so I'm still a work in progress. So you can also try whatever it is you see. You don't have to wait for a perfect time. You don't have to wait for a perfect opportunity. Small chops are easy to make. All you need, like I stated, you need your normal kitchen. If you have a deep freezer, a good working freezer, then you are good. You are good to go. That's it, to be honest. You are good to go. So what are the things you'd want to do? You want to work on your social media, and fine girl. Hey, welcome. Hey, fine though. Okay, they are live. Yeah. No, what's concern me? So, like I was saying, I had some things I checked. Also, you can check online, like maybe on Instagram, on TikTok, and search small chops vendors, so that you see what they do, how they do it, and how they position themselves online. You get, if you do that, you have also a better understanding of what people are doing, so that you scale your business accordingly. Do what people around your area are doing, but it doesn't mean you should copy. You're only drawing inspiration. You get my point. You're trying to draw inspiration from them, so you're not copying, but you're getting inspired. Then you show up consistently, because if I come today and you don't have the small chops I crave for, you I come tomorrow and you do not have it, I'll probably get tired and be like, ah, tomorrow this girl will not probably be around. She probably will not be available. So if you don't do that, you probably see that, oh, this person is not available, so I don't need to buy. But all you need is to consistently practice, consistently show up, show up. And that is something I need to also tell myself. I need to show up for myself. I need to show up for my business. I need to